Welcome to the Prowler Podcast. Today we're thrilled to have LaMarcus Caradine, one of my good buddies. He played football with my brother in college, and now he's ventured into the pro sport of football. And so thrilled to have Marcus on here. We're going to dive into his journey from the professional level. And Marcus attended Eupora High School in Eupora, Mississippi, and he brings a very unique perspective to the table. And without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Marcus as he introduces himself and shares more about his background. But first, we're going to have a little video here he made for us, and we're going to get going here. You can't really hear it.
It's LaMarcus Caradine, professional football player for the Arena Football League, as well as Fan Control Football League, where they have players like Martavis Bryant, Johnny Manziel, Terrell Owens, those type of names. I've been around a whole lot of football, but if I had Prowler recruiting in my corner when I first started, I probably would have been in the NFL. I would love for you guys to get in touch with Preston to be able to just figure out what he can do to help you get to the next level. Prowler recruiting. Ain't nothing to it but to do it. Let's get it.
There we go.
What's up, guys? It's LaMarcus Caradine. I just wanted to introduce myself and basically, just go ahead and just say, I play football, Fan Control Football League, and also in the AFL. Potentially have a chance to go play again somewhere else in the new league. So we'll see how it all pans out.
Right.
Awesome. And thank you for getting that shout out for us. That's awesome to have those connections and stuff, man. So look forward to diving into some talks today and see where we can go.
Oh yeah, looking forward to it myself.
So Marcus, you played at Belhaven University. You're a wide receiver there, slot receiver, and since you've been in college, like now you're in the pro leagues, and since you've been out of college, everything has changed so much. Transfer portal, no restrictions. Really, it seems like you can go anywhere you want to. Do you think you could have benefited in today's college football world, like if back then when you were in college, if it was like it is now? Do you think you could have benefited?
That's a great question because I think about that from time to time. Considering me having a good time at Belhaven University, where I was blessed to be able to get a chance to play at, going off my sophomore year, and if we had that transfer portal around at that time, I definitely would have taken advantage of it. It's just one of those things that it's new and it's all over the place. It's very sporadic, so a lot of people get a chance to go to different places where they wasn't necessarily recruited to. But it also gives a chance for small school players to elevate their game to show that they actually belong at the D1 level. It's so great. I definitely would have benefited from it.
Right, and you were an electric player. I mean, you're quick, you're fast, you got hands. You could have definitely. I think you could have definitely benefited from the portal in a big way. And do you think it could open up more doors for you if you had that portal back then, like the way the portal is now?
Oh, it would have definitely opened up more doors. I feel like, and I think this deep to my core, I feel like I would have definitely probably been in the NFL. Because if I'd got a chance to be on the same field as some of the D1 guys, learn from some of the D1 guys, because at a small school, you feel good about what you learn, but you're still limited. You're still limited to certain things that you learn because, you have a great coaching staff, you have great coaches, but everything is player driven. It has to be player driven. So at the end of the day, you learn from each other. And so if you're one of the better receivers on the team, other people are learning from you, but you have to learn from others as well. So say for instance, if I was learning from at the time it was 2000, say for instance, if I was learning from AJ Brown or DK Metcalf or like that class of 2016 was kind of stacked. So if I was learning from any of those guys on how to even get off the line a lot better, how I could change my release, things of that sort, I would have definitely benefited more. And it would have opened up a lot more doors for NFL scouts to see me.
Right, and you go back to when Javon Wims was at Belhaven, and then he went to Georgia, and then he went to the league. He utilized the portal he had then, the transfer portal, and he transferred to Georgia. Had a great career there. He was electric. He was a great receiver. I remember watching him, and then he went to the Bears, and then I'm not sure where he's at now. I'm not sure if he's still in the league or not, but The dude was great. And so, I mean, what's your opinion now on like these college football players that really aren't showing much loyalty? And do you think NIL is like making a big play in that?
I definitely think NIL is making a big play in that. It's so funny that we bringing all this up. I actually just got off a phone call. When was it, about 2 days ago? With the commissioner of fan control football,
Mhm.
and we were sitting down talking, and he's utilizing he's utilizing NIL and stuff like that for certain college football players, and he's telling me all about it and things of that sort. But the NIL has definitely changed the game. I don't think is my best way of describing it is loyalty is one of those things that you need in your life. Trust is a big thing. Um, but I also feel like coaches, if you are a true coach, you want to see them succeed at the highest level. If you are a true coach, you coaching them beyond the game. You coaching them as how to be great young men, how to be great athletes at the same time while being great young men. So at the end of the day, if they can elevate their game and get to the next level, you should like, hey, go ahead and do what you got to do because I've seen you've done everything you could do here. I
Mhm.
want you to get a chance to go to the NFL. So I think loyalty has to come from both sides. It has to come from the coaches and the player. The player has to go to the coach and be like, "Hey, coach, I I've done everything I needed to do, and I feel like I'm very, very capable of making that jump." If the coach sit there and look at you and just be like, "Hey, we're gonna say LaMarcus, hey LaMarcus, I understand you want to go to the D1 level, but you want to leave your brothers and this and this." Yeah, okay. Look, you can be nice and say stuff like that, but I feel like as a coach, you should not bash a player for trying to elevate their game. You shouldn't try to make a pity party because they trying to elevate their game, if that makes sense. And you can't make them feel bad for trying to be in the 1%. So yeah, I definitely think NIL is playing a big factor because now these boys getting paid in college. They getting
Like you,
paid.
a good quarterback in college football is worth like upwards of $1 million. It's like wow,
Exactly.
No, I
it's
totally agree with that, Marcus. And I mean, like you were talking about earlier, the coaching staff we had at Belhaven towards the end, I think majority of those coaches are either in the NFL or college football now at the D1 level.
Mm-hmm.
So that coaching staff realized what they had to do to get to the next level, and they also realized it with other players because when Coach McCorkle left to go to Northwestern State, he took about 4 players with him from Belhaven that I don't know the new players he had, but they trusted.
Mm-hmm.
And you talk about the transfer portal now, how it benefits you. We just saw Cole McAlpin sign with the Los Angeles Chargers. We knew from day one when that kid walked on to the field as a freshman, we all said if he gets on some size, he could be something.
Oh yeah.
And if he had the nature of today's transfer portal, I honestly think that man would have been a tackle at the D1 level. I don't know if it'd be FBS, but it definitely would have been FCS.
Oh, 100%. And I also think as crazy as it sounds, the transfer portal helped him too,
Yep.
to get a chance because the thing is he did not transfer. But the fact of the matter is everybody was moving. Everybody was moving around in the shuffle and they saw this one guy and they was like, okay, he's stuck with this team. He's really, really good. He got to go to play at the FCS Bowl. So he got to play in front of some NFL scouts. And they sat here and noticed. They was like, okay, he didn't transfer out or he didn't leave. Why? So I'm pretty sure they asked him why he didn't leave. And
Yep.
once they figured out why he didn't leave, and then they seen the size, they seen the difference he made on the field, it helped him in a way of not leaving, if that makes sense. It kind of benefited him not to leave. Because if
Correct.
he'd went to another school, then he probably would have had to sit out a year. And then once you sit out a year, now the scouts and stuff, they kind of forget about you until you come back out and play. And then
Yep.
it's just a whole shuffle. So it kind of benefited him a whole lot to be at the school that we was at. And also the schedule change helped out a lot because
Oh, for sure. Because
yeah,
he was
yeah.
because not to shun anything, but this past 2 years they've been playing a significant lower
Yeah.
talent level than what we played. Heck, we were
And
playing
that, yeah,
the number 1 team and number 6 team every year.
exactly. Like we actually played. It was 6 teams on our schedule that was always ranked 6 or
Yep.
7. And playing on those teams and if you losing, ain't nobody looking at the losers. Everybody's looking at the winners. No matter
Correct.
how much talent you have on your team, they want to see a winning product. So if you have a bunch of winners on your team, they're gonna find somebody that's on that team that's a winner. You
Correct.
know it, and so that helped them out.
And we always used to joke in the locker room how Mary Hart Baylor should have been D1 and some other schools.
Yeah.
Well, you saw Sul Ross, they're Division 2 now.
Yeah. Then that's the thing. They taking advantage of the fact that it's so crazy that they moved up quicker than Mary Baylor, in my opinion. But
Yeah.
Soul Ross is just they taking advantage of it. They was like, hey, we got a big enough school, we got more, because I think how they do it is they get more sports.
Yep.
So when they got a lot more sports, and they was like, okay, we about to make this jump. I don't care if we go 0-15. We about to make this jump because we can have scholarship players. So at that point in time, now you're gonna have significant, like, you're gonna have better players on your team. That's just
Yep.
how it is.
So Marcus, going back to Belhaven,
Mhm.
say you did transfer. What would have been the main reasons that you transferred, and what what would you look for when you were transferring? Like what would you look for in the program, the coaches? Like what would have been the main reasons and reasoning you transferred?
Well, I would have. I'm gonna start off. I probably would have transferred because I wanted to prove myself right more than anything. Um, I'm gonna be honest. I was really, really nervous going up against, and I can say borderline scared going up against some of the D1 dudes. Because I may show a lot of confidence because that's how I feel when I'm on the field. But like deep down inside, sometimes I'm like, okay, let's see how I square it up against a D1 dude. The first time it happened was at the destroying workout, and I was scared out of my mind. So it's one of those things that like you have to jump out there and do it to prove yourself right, because I felt like I could, but in the back of my head, I was like, really, could I? And on top of like what I would have been looking for in coaches and stuff like that was a coaching staff that cared in a way. As far as like you're gonna get coached no matter where you at. Like you're gonna get screamed at. You bound to mess up. But at the end of the day, I wanted to leave a program better than what I started. And I didn't want to sit there and leave there with my mental state really, really messed up just to try to prove to the coach. No, I'm not proving nothing to the coach. I'm proving to myself that I'm good enough. The
Right.
coach is gonna coach me, but I have to prove to myself that I'm good enough to be on that field with whoever steps in my way. So I'd have been looking for a coaching staff that's gonna help me prove myself right. So yeah.
And I think you could have definitely benefited from the portal. I remember playing beach football with you at the beach, and dude, we were tearing them up out there.
That was so much fun.
That was a lot of fun. That was when I was a freshman in high school, right? And so
Mhm,
Preston had really just gotten on the field, just gotten there, and I
mhm,
never really seen you play. And Preston had told me how he had seen you play, obviously during practice and stuff. And
mhm.
I saw you play. I was like, yeah, this dude's something serious. And so, going back to high school and getting recruited out of high school, what was your personal recruiting experience like? Like, what did coaches ask you? What did you do to get to where you like got? And just really like, what can you tell these high school athletes now? Like, what would you have done differently, and what did you do to get where you're at?
I'm gonna be honest. I haven't been asked that question in anything that I've been on, and my high school recruiting was actually not very great. That's why I'm really really pushing for like kids to reach out to you guys, because it 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 kind of destroyed my confidence as a kid. I'm 16 years old, talking to like I'm thinking I'm going D1. I gave up. I was a corner at the time. Gave up one catch the entire year. And it just so happened to be a touchdown. I was in man to man the entire year. Had three interceptions, one catch, and I got targeted 57 times. So I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, oh, I'm going D1. I'm going D1. I'm seeing these coaches getting letters in the mail, and also getting like some of the coaches getting letters. And I remember like it was yesterday. I'm walking in the gym. Coach says, "Hey, they was just like, hey, one of these junior colleges coming to recruit you." And in Mississippi, a junior college is almost like a D1 in another school, like in a whole nother in a whole nother area. So I'm like, oh, okay. And they was like EMCC coming. It was EMCC, it was Holmes, and it was Northeast. And so I'm like, okay, I go to any one of them schools, I'm going D1. Like, I can just touch the field and I'm going D1. That's how, like, that's just how it was. And so so they came in talking to me and stuff like that. They walked through the door, and when they walked through the door, my coach is talking, and I'm over there shooting basketball. And they was just like, okay, where's LaMarcus? I walk over there, and they was just like, they get to talking for a little bit, and they was like, okay, but where's LaMarcus? And coach says, right here. And the dude looked me up and down and was just like, yeah, the dude looked me up and down, and he was just like, oh, you look bigger on film. And then walks away and just starts talking to the other corner. And I'm sitting there looking like, yo, like, what's going on? Keep in mind, I'm 132 pounds in high school. So then he comes back and walks over and tells me, "Oh, what are you gonna do when a running back comes towards you? Are you gonna make the tackle?" I was like, if I put some weight on, yeah. Like in my head, I'm like, I can go to the school and put some weight on. It's not like you guys can't put no weight on me.
Right. Yeah, I mean,
But they wasn't looking at it like that. They was looking at it more as in I wouldn't have been a very good athlete out there on the field. And it really hurt me really deep. Went home and cried a good bit. A good bit. Cried for probably about a week. And told my mom, started getting a little upset with my mom and telling her like why can't I gain any weight? Why can't I get bigger? Why can't I get stronger? I'm at that point I'm really strong, but I'm 132 pounds. It's bench pressing like 250, 260 at the time, but just was little. I could not gain weight. And yeah. But all that to say, I'm sorry. All that to say, um it you guys are gonna play a valuable part in a lot of kids' lives, and y'all don't even understand it. If I would have had y'all back when I was younger, my recruit process probably would have been a whole lot different. I get kind of a little emotional thinking about it because it was a struggle. Even for me to even get to Belhaven, and it sounds like I would have just been right there, but it took a minute for like Coach Blizz at the time to call me because they wanted me to play receiver, and I was just like, yo, I'm a corner. And
Do you think the reason you kind of struggled also is because you came from like a 4A school? Because
I went to a 2A school. I went to a little small 2A school.
correct.
And yeah, that's another reason why I struggle. They didn't believe my level of competition was extremely good. It was weird because all the people I was going against was like ranked in the top 300. So I'm like, yo, like I know I'm at a 2A school, but Bryce Sykes over here, and he's ranked like 250. He's ranked like number 40 in no, he was like 32 in the state. And he was an athlete. He played running back, receiver, and then the running back from Houston, Mississippi. He was going to Mississippi State. So I'm like, yo, y'all see the people I'm making tackles. I'm locking this receiver up. He didn't have a single catch the whole game. They threw it to him 16 times. Like, so in my head, I was like, yo, like, I don't know what else I could do.
So
Yeah,
you talk about that, Marcus, and a prime example is there's a kid in Alabama I know. He's 6'2", roughly 205, right? Big kid, runs 44.42. For that size of a kid, that's amazing. He's literally a Mexican version of Derrick Henry, in my opinion. But he's at a 4A school out of Alabama, but he single-handedly took his school to the state championship this year. He played running back, quarterback, everything. His quarterback got hurt in the first round of the playoffs, but they creamed everybody by like more than 21 points all the way to the championship and got beat by Montgomery Christian. So his parents was not like well off or anything, but I helped him a little bit in his recruiting journey, and he ended up going to NAI school. The reason I pointed him that way is because I told him you're not going to use no eligibility at the NCAA level. You can transfer out, have any door open after that. I was like, if you go lead the nation in NIA rushing yards again, like you did in the state of Alabama, I was like, because you're at a 4A school, they're just shunning you just because of that, in my opinion. And I was like, you're not at a powerhouse school that's known for talent either. So that's why they're not looking at you like that. I was like, if you go lead the nation in NAIA rushing yards, they can't deny you anymore. So he's at Cumberland University up in Kentucky, and I fully expect to see that kid on FCS, at least the FCS level one day.
Yeah.
Because
I mean, Marcus,
go ahead, Will.
I was in the same boat as you, Marcus. I'm a taller guy, 6'2". I was 175, 170, 175, playing running back. And,
Yeah,
in my eyes, if we breathe the same air, it's fair game. I
exactly.
didn't care. And so I'm like, if there's a linebacker, 220, 225, I'm not scared of you. I'm coming right
Exactly.
after you. I'm coming right to your face. And, I feel like a lot of colleges looked over me because of my size, but I mean, it's not like I couldn't have put weight on. I mean, I could put weight on, but also COVID year and everything, that kind of messed everybody up, because two senior classes and not getting all the looks that we wanted to during COVID. But I kind of got upset. Like if I was the Prowler in high school, dude, there's no telling where I'd be. And now, looking back at it, I could have done some things to put on some weight, but I mean, I thought, if we're, like I said, we're out there breathing the same air, it's fair game. And so that
Yeah,
was my mindset. And, but, looking back at that, I feel like there's a lot of kids that give up because, they aren't the biggest, they aren't the fastest, they aren't the most powerful, players out there. But I mean, they have skill and they can definitely go play somewhere at the next level. But I feel like they just give up because they feel like they can't. And that's what we're trying to teach these kids. Like, I mean, it doesn't really matter. I mean, if you have skill, they're going to find you and you're going to get somewhere and you're going to play. And especially with all the benefits you have now in the portal, you can go anywhere you want to. If you get to a
yeah,
program, put weight on, get better and faster and bigger, and they're gonna find you and you're gonna go somewhere. And
exactly.
so, I mean, so look, like talking about all that, what would you recommend high school athletes to do now, like with the current atmosphere of college football, like going smaller? Like my buddy Jake we just had on here, he went to UCA. He's a big kid, he was like he's 6'4", 6'5",
Hmm.
linebacker, edge. He went to UCA. Now he's at a Power 5 school in Cincinnati. Like that, I mean, it doesn't show you like you can do anything you want to do. I mean, I know UCA is FCS, but I mean, going from FCS to like he talked about on the podcast, it's a totally different world up there. Like
Hmm.
it's totally different, going from FCS to FBS. And so, I mean, we try to tell these kids, it doesn't matter if you go smaller. Like, look at you. I mean, you went to Belhaven. Look where you're at now. I mean, so what would you recommend these high school athletes to do, like come out of high school?
I would absolutely recommend them to look at all the options because now you have like you have the portal to be able to. Can you guys hear me? Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah,
sorry.
we can hear you.
Okay. So you have the portal to be able to use at your discretion now. So why not go to a school where you're gonna play? You know you're gonna get a
Good
chance to
plan.
get out there on the field instead of going to a school where you're gonna sit out for 3 years. You better go get some film. You better go play so you can be able to move up so the coaches can look at you and be like, oh no, he's coming in. We're gonna have to lock in. He might be a day one starter. He might have to work a little bit, but we already know what he got. We already know he can ball at a college level. We seen him break rushing records at an NAI school. We seen him break rushing records at a D3, D2. Like he's gonna get in here and go crazy. He knows how to read the hole. We see his vision. We Things like that don't change from a D1 to a D3 level. Things like
Right.
that is what you have anyways. When they see a
Hmm.
D3 running back running with the same vision as a D1 running back, they will be more than happy to pick up the D3 dude because they can teach him even better. If you already playing like a D1 player at a D3 school and you self taught yourself, you go to a D1 school, they like, oh, we can make him 10 times better. Like if he's already as good as my D1 player, yeah, he's gonna get even better here. That's how
And
they
you
feel.
and you talk about that, but think about the different resources you'll get at that level too.
Mm-hmm.
The different meal plans you're going to be on, the
Exactly.
nutrition plans you're going to be on.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, yeah, Belhaven fed us good and made sure we got fed at a good quality meal,
Yeah.
but like the money they get thrown at a D1 school now, let's say like heck, Ole Miss, that
Mhm.
they're eating at least 4 protein shakes a day, and they're not
Oh,
just
at least.
and
At least.
they're not pre-made milkshakes either. They're custom made in the shop. So like it's just things like that once you get to that level, there's no telling what some of these athletes can reach now in the transfer portal. And we see it every year. Heck, University of Arkansas last year, all three of their starting receivers was from the former D2 to D3 schools.
Exactly. And it's the same and like at a professional level. When I got into FCF, I'm gonna be honest with you. That was the closest thing I could have ever been to in the NFL. Closest by far. Because how they treated us in there and us being around all those celebrities and all those NFL guys, Julio Jones, Tyreek Hill, like just seeing those guys being around them, hanging out with them, speaking to them. I've never been in such a crazy environment. First off, I've never been in such a crazy environment. I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all know that. That was kind of wild for me. I was out there fanboying it out. I was looking around trying to figure out who was who. So I'm out there like being in that type of environment and knowing that these kids going to Ole Miss, going to Miami, going to Georgia, they get to be around this stuff every day. They get at FCF, we got fed so good to the point that I almost thought I was gonna get fat. I was like, yo, I'm working out a good bit, but I'm eating a lot. Like, y'all getting me food from shelves, and bro, it was crazy. They get that at Georgia. Oh, they get that at schools all the time. And I'm sitting
Yeah.
here, I'm not used to that. I went to a D3 school, big dog. That's how I'm thinking in my head. All my friends and stuff that went to TCU, they like, oh, I'm used to this. I'm not used to it, so I'm gonna take advantage of it. So, like you said, they are set on so many meal plans and so many. They have no other choice but to succeed.
Yeah.
They have no other choice.
And you talk about meal plans. Each athlete I've heard gets a different meal plan based on what they need to meet.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
they're not all getting fed the same thing because not everybody needs to be fed fried chicken because they don't need to be put on weight.
And
You
that's
know, some people need lean meat to get that quality protein still, but they don't need the extra fat on top. They need to keep where they're at.
And that's exactly what I'm gonna be honest. I might brag on fan control football a little too much because we had nutritionists. We had a nutritionist for every different person. The nutritionists they work for the Chiefs. So they gave us specific meal plans for specific people. We had different foods for specific people. We had different workouts for specific people. We all did not lift the same. We all did not have the same workout. I probably had the same as Cavante Turpins, but I have more weight than him because he's a small guy, but he can outrun me any day of the week. But he's like the it's being around that type of environment has made me really look at D1 schools a lot different. I'm gonna be honest with you. Being around that made me sit back and be like, yo, this is what y'all was getting. Well, I'd have been on the field acting out on out for 2,000 yards. I'd have been looking like Marvin Harrison out there. Throw me the ball, coach. I'm feeling good today. Like it's wild. My fault. I'll get a little hype thinking about it, but like it's crazy.
No, you're good. And you talked about earlier, how you came from a small school and like how the Prowler would benefit you. That's what we try to tell these athletes, because we deal with a lot of athletes that's 4A and below, right?
Mhm.
The last year out of that reciter class that we had, I know for sure 3 players could have went D1, FCS, and FBS, but due to the talent level they're playing and not know that school is not known for what they're known for, like a 7A school like Hoover out of Birmingham. I told them, and if you go to these smaller schools, first off, like you said, you'll get PT right off the bat, most likely, because you're a bigger kid than most of them coming in there, and you're gonna get quality playing time and get quality film. That quality film means the world now in the transfer portal because, as you were saying earlier, when the coaches go to that transfer portal nowadays, they're not just looking for an athlete that can ball. They're looking for a kid in the classroom that can keep his head on straight and then I got to babysit every day.
Exactly.
They don't want to be worrying about dude down the street got a 2.0 and can we get him up in the classroom where he can even be eligible?
Exactly.
Right? I mean, a prime example of that is Tyreek Hill. That's why he was at the D2 level at West Alabama.
Exactly.
He's probably the best receiver in the NFL right now, but his academics was nowhere near what they needed to be at D1 school.
Exactly.
And he talks about that all the time in his testimony, and that's a prime example. If you go to these small schools, get your academics straight and get that quality playing time, man. If you got the talent, you'll get there.
Because, like you said, though, bro, the sky's the limit. And I know we talking about football so much on here, but education is so important. When it comes down to how they recruit you and stuff like that, you said it, you hit the nail on the head. They're not trying to go after a kid that has a 1.7 GPA and be like, hey bro, can you please pull up your GPA? No, they want somebody they ain't got to worry about. They already got the dudes that they kind of already had wanted. Now you are getting in the transfer portal hoping to get a chance.
Yep.
You ain't getting in the transfer portal thinking they hoping to get you. No, it's the other way around. So
Yeah.
at the end of the day, you have to do what you have to do to get there. So you gotta, if that means keeping your head in the books, keeping your head in the books. If that means not going out at 3 a.m. to deal with girls all the time, that's just what you gotta do. And I know it's hard for us dudes when we in college and stuff like that. I know that's the thing. But like but it's a real thing. If you want to get to the level you want to get to, you have to. And I'm pretty sure at Prowler Recruiting, just in general, I'm pretty sure y'all want the players to get to where they need to get to, but you also want them to be successful men. Like
Correct.
you want them to be successful whatever they do outside. Like even if they get to a nice school, get to a big school and do what they need to do and ball, it will mean a lot to you, but it'll also mean a lot for them to get their education. Because if say for instance football don't work out, you got them to this big school, you got them to a nice school. Now they mess around and they got to a point where they so good at football, they cool. But now they can be an engineer too on the side because
Yep.
they done kept their academics straight. They can
Yep.
be a doctor too. They can, bro. That is the yo. My fault. It's so much that you can do with just being recruited. It's so much, and it's something that I didn't think about until I got older. But bro, the fact of the matter is, being recruited at a nice school also benefits you with a nice education.
No, you're exactly right. And heck, look at what Coach McCorkle preached to us every single day. First
Mhm.
time, he preached to us that each other of us don't let each other die. He didn't mean physically die. He meant die in the classroom, die in every which way.
Mhm.
And I thank that man for everything because he elevated my mindset totally different. That's why I'm in the position I am now. And that's why he's in the position he is now because people respected what he built at Belhaven. He
Exactly.
built that foundation from the ground up. That program is recognized in the state of Mississippi now, not just for sports. Academic. He had it to the highest GPA that Bill Havens had ever seen on the football team.
Exactly.
It's things like that when you have a good coach that nourishes you, but you also got to realize these coaches are not trying to nourish you at that level anymore
Mhm.
because the transfer portals open that door up that they don't have to worry about that anymore. So
Exactly.
And education it's everything. Like you said, Marcus, these coaches, if they see that you have good grades, they're like, oh yeah, he's perfect. I want him. But like these coaches, they don't want to mess around with somebody that doesn't have their head on straight in the classroom because it all starts in the classroom at the end of the day. You
Mhm.
need to get your grades right and get your grades right, do what you do on the field, and you'll go somewhere, right?
Exactly.
So, going back to high school, Marcus, do you think that you could have benefited from a Prowler in like big ways? Like, so we have a Prowler roadmap system. So the
Mhm.
PRS we have developed. Do you think you could have easily benefited from all that?
What's necessarily the roadmap system? Like
so,
you
so
Well,
got.
I
the
mean,
so the
yeah.
Prowler roadmap to success, Marcus, is a spreadsheet. It's a web scraping template that it goes pull all recruiting contacts at whatever school criteria that you put in. So the school criteria is built off how many states you pick, and when you pick those states, it lists out every single Division I, Division II, Division III, NAIA, JUCO schools in that state.
Okay.
So say you pick those 6 states, you have that in that template. Now in that template, we have mapped out 6 steps in front of that. The first step is to fill out your recruiting questionnaire. Then you upload your high school transcript to the Google Drive for us. We follow coaches on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it nowadays, and then we email coaches for you. That's a step we follow. And you'll see that listed in there, and it'll say done once that's completed.
Mhm.
Now, once that coach reaches back out to you, highlights it green to show that you've been in contact with that coach.
Mhm.
Once you get offered, it highlights it red for you. So you can automatically follow that step by step. You don't have to be in contact with us every day. Now, granted, we try to give that personal feel to the athlete because we know Will and I and you both know as a high school athlete, you're number one focusing at that. You got other things going on in your world, that you don't always have the time to exert to that. That's what that roadmap to success is for, is to find those qualifications and to see if you can get to that level and see what opportunities can open up. So it's a really centric database that provides for you and makes it real easy to access, follow. It's not hard. It's very user friendly. There's not much learning to it. You just go in there, see where your status is, and see what coach has been in contact with you.
Oh yeah. I would have benefited from that a lot. I would have loved that. Me not having to do a whole lot of work and just, bro, y'all making it easy. Y'all making it easy for these athletes, bro. I would have been out, man. I would have benefited. That's all I got to say. Yeah, it would have been great.
And I talked about a little bit on last podcast is we're actually in the process of me implementing a configuration for our AI tool, because our AI tool right now automatically generates a response for the athlete, whatever they get back on X or whatever they get back on Gmail. But what I'm trying to configure is a way to have that automatically texted to them so they can hit on their end, yes, respond with that, because not every athlete wants an automated response from the AI system. Granted, AI is taking over the world right now, right?
Yeah.
You see it every day. It's populating in every which way. It can create a program script for you for web scraping now, honestly, even now. So we're trying to initialize that to put more in the player's basket, but also where it's just one click away to send that response, because at the end of the day, we do ask for access to their social media and access to their Gmail because we want to maintain it. But we mainly do that also because we want to make sure the criteria that they're posting on there ain't a bunch of bull crap, They don't need to be posting what they're doing on Friday night down the street. Keep that private, put that on your private story chat, I mean, we all know what private story on Snapchat is, right? So
Exactly.
We try to keep that fundamentals in place, but also make sure our script is running correctly. So that's what we're pretty much doing is it's all automated at the end of the day. So
Okay. Yeah. No, that's that. I feel like that itself, like you give them a personal feel. And first off, you being able to get access to their social media in high school should be a go anyways, just because you in high school. What else are you talking about? But like like I feel like you guys are doing a really, really good job and just making sure the athletes feel like you actually care and they know that you care, not just feel, they know that you care. So I think you guys are doing a really, really good job. And I feel like that would have benefited me a lot coming out.
Could have been could have benefited a lot of guys I know. I mean, even me, like, that thing he developed, it's a game changer. It really is. Like, having that, it's like if it makes you comfortable because like it's taken care of, it's all taken care of. So last thoughts on the current sports world, Marcus. So what are your thoughts on the transfer portal being like wide open, like kind of like free agency in the NFL? What do you think about all of that? And like basically no restrictions.
Um,
I mean, like obviously, like there's no restrictions really. Do you
mhm.
think there needs to be like rules set in place, so like like even like say bowl games? It's like they're starting to change that. Like bowl games, you can't like sit out like for bowl games, and like how these guys they can hit the portal and then like go from some like that guy from Alabama. He went from Alabama to what was it, Iowa? It was that lineman? He went to Iowa and then came back right back to Alabama. Like switching that fast, it's like there's no loyalty there. What do you
Yeah.
think of that?
I definitely think it needs to be rules in place. The reason why is it starts to affect the coaches at that point. And not just the coaches, it starts to affect the whole program. It starts to affect the players that you play with. Because the thing is, you're not just loyal to the school. You're loyal to your brothers. You're loyal to your coaches, stuff like that. And I understand loyalty is a big thing, and it should go both ways. But at the end of the day, if you left the school, you've already told your homeboys. They already know. 9 times out of 10, your boys know before everybody else do.
Yeah.
So they already know that you transferring and stuff like that. And when they transfer, and then all of a sudden they come back, it's like, bro, like you already done made your move. Like I understand that you wanted to come back and things of that sort. But at the end of the day, you already done made your move. I'm not gonna trust that you're gonna still be here. At the end
Right.
of the day, if I got a block for you, or if I gotta ask you to make the block for me so I can go score that touchdown, then that's what I would do. What's up?
What's up, LaMarcus?
How you doing? How you doing?
Man, it's been a few days.
Just a few days. Yeah, just a few days. How's
Yeah.
everything going?
Good, good.
Look,
Glad
AI.
glad you guys
Infinity, AI.
This is called Affinity, like the monster AI company in the planet.
Okay.
They pair athletes with coaches.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
all cool things, man. Get you guys hooked up.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you. Shoot, I want to have a whole conversation with you. I'm gonna wait till after we get
Seattle, man.
finished.
I was
But
just up in Seattle like 2
Well,
weeks ago.
he's in Denver now.
Oh, you're in
I'm
Denver
in Denver
now.
now.
I was in
Denver now.
Denver last week.
For real?
Downtown all week. Yeah. Well,
Did you have
yeah.
you been to any other games and stuff like here? Like in because I think Denver was playing. No, they was playing the
the
Timberwolves
Nuggets
this
were
week.
playing. Yeah, now they're done.
Yeah, they are
But
done.
I was up in Seattle at the Krakens, the last season Krakens games.
You went to the Krakens game?
Yeah. We had a great suite up in there, the Moet Chandon suite. Preston said you were up there, but then now you're in Denver. I could have seen you last week.
Yeah, man. I wanted to go to I ain't been to a Krakens game, so I'm probably gonna end up going back up there because a couple of my friends now that I've been in Washington, they stay up there, so I'm gonna have to go eventually when when they play again.
Yeah, next season. Let me know. I'll get you up there.
I'm definitely gonna go. I've never been to a hockey game, so in Washington it was big on the Kraken. So I was like, I said, you know what, I'm gonna give it a chance.
Good
So
deal.
next season I'm definitely gonna go.
All right,
We'll
well,
be there,
special guest Bill Pritchard here. Old mayor high school football legend.
Yeah, like old school shit, So, y'all have fun.
All right.
Yes, sir.
But no, you talk about that Iowa guy. I mean, a prime example, Will, of people get frustrated with that is Christian Smiley. He was on a podcast a couple weeks ago. Players are constantly transferring in front of you. So imagine that guy's coming back from Iowa and transferring in front of whatever tackle that is there at Alabama now.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine how that's making him feel. He's probably going to enter his name around the portal because he's like, I've already put my time in here. Why should I sit here and wait another year?
Exactly.
So that's a prime example. It's going to cause a lot of frustration and a lot of chemistry that's not going to balance out well, And I think, I think that's what's benefited Kirby so much. Yeah, Kirby does go to the transfer portal, but it's not as heavy as a lot of these other schools.
He's the only one that's getting these big players out of high school. I mean,
but look at Carson Beck. Carson Beck sit there and nurture behind Stetson Bennett. He's been in the system for a minute,
And that's the thing.
Lad McConkey's another example. He just got drafted for the Chargers, He's sitting in the system for a good while, Granted, he's going to be big names that he knows he can trust. But
first off, McConkey is freakishly athletic. We're going to go ahead and get that out of the way.
That dude is a dog.
He is. And Ricky Purcell is his name? From Florida? I don't know where they found these kids at. Yeah, my fault. Go ahead. My bad.
No, you're good. But
dude, you see these guys, man. Like these high school athletes are going to know that they can get to where you are, and they're going to be around these guys. Getting better, getting to know these guys that have been to the championships of winning the championship in college football. Like, what's more to ask for than getting to go play for an NFL team? Like,
that's what's crazy. Running routes with some of these guys, like running routes with Turk, was ridiculous. Running routes with Josh Gordon was ridiculous. Running routes with Terrell,
I forgot about him being in the FCF.
Yeah, running routes with it's just crazy. Seeing Tyreek Hill running around, I didn't get a chance to just mess with him and fake guard him or anything like that. But dog, he's faster than what he even looks like on TV. That is by far the fastest man I've ever seen in my life. It is crazy. He looks like a car going 0 to 60 and bro, it's wild. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that on a football field.
He's called a cheetah for a reason.
Yeah, bro. It looks so crazy compared to everybody else. It's dudes that was in the FCF with me that ran 4.2, 4.3. And Tyreek Hill just looks completely faster than him, which is crazy. He looks that much fast. It looks like he's on a whole nother planet.
Yeah, I mean, the dude, what did he hit last year? Did he hit 2,000 yards or was he right there? He got hurt.
I think he was right there. I think he got when he got injured. He got injured. I thought he had pulled his hamstring.
Good for that long, going from the Chiefs to the Dolphins and being that good for so long, and it's still being as fast as he was, if not faster, is just crazy to me. It's
I'm just gonna be honest though. If he did not leave the Chiefs, I don't think the Chiefs will be able to be stopped. Because first off, Patrick Mahomes is another freaking Tom Brady.
Yes,
just his mindset. Granted, his characteristics sometimes make me frustrated, but just his mindset and IQ on the field of how he elaborates the pass coverage, that's another Brady. There's just no way around it. And if he would have had Tyreek, man, I know they won the Super Bowl this past year, but I don't know if they want to win it the next 3 years in a row with Tyreek on the roster.
Yeah, Tyreek is a game changer. He's an organization changer. He ain't just a game changer. You put him on your team, you gonna win some games. That boy's going off for 200 yards at least one of these games. At least, if not two of them. Like 200 yards in an NFL game is crazy. First off, and he'd get it off of 4 catches, all of them 60 yards plus. Like
Yep.
it's insane. Like, yeah, if I had to guard him the whole game, I would be absolutely upset. Absolutely upset. I'm not
I mean,
even going to.
Patrick Mahomes, he went to Texas Tech. That's not the biggest. I mean, that's not like that biggest, flashiest school. And look where he's
Exactly.
at now. He's the best quarterback in the NFL.
And that's
chasing
what's
greatness.
Yeah, and that's what's crazy. He wasn't. I didn't know who he was until
I
he
didn't
got.
either. I had no idea who he was until he started showing out with the Chiefs.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
was like, when they picked him up, I was like, "Yep, looks like the Chiefs ain't finna win nothing." All of a sudden, this dude come out of the woodworks, throwing the ball sideways, hitting the front flip and back flip, throwing it behind his neck. Yo, I don't know who this dude is.
I mean, just like Josh Allen, man. Josh Allen, he went to University of Wyoming, but the crazy thing is a story he's got behind before he got to Wyoming. Dude never was looked at coming out of high school out of Wyoming. And he ended up he went to some community college in California, got one good year of playing, and then he got a chance at Wyoming. And now I put him as the top 5 quarterback in the league right now. I know a lot of people don't, but the dude is a freak. He's 6'6", 250. You can't stop him running. You can't stop him throwing. I mean,
that's the crazy part. I'm surprised he wasn't recruited heavy because he's a big guy. He's a really, really big dude.
And he has
He's a really big dude.
That dude can throw the ball.
Bro, and it's not easy to make a tackle on him either. You come down, it's like a linebacker running, bro. A linebacker running at you, and he's not a slow guy. So
No.
he get the moving, it's over with. You need help to tackle him. He's a big guy. You need a lot of help.
But you know what's crazy is as we keep growing the Prowler, there's no telling how many unseen talent we're gonna find out west in those small schools like he's from. Because there's kids that go every year unseen that give it up. They just go work in the cattle farms or wherever out there in the out west, because they don't think they got a chance.
That's what they do. That's what they do. I mean, like Yellowstone, like all that stuff. Like, I mean, that's what they do. I mean, they don't they don't know they can go play ball somewhere. But look at Josh Allen, for instance. I mean, that dude, Montana.
It shows you never give up on your dream.
Yeah.
So, Marcus, all these semi-pro teams forming is obviously creating a gateway for all those athletes to go to the NFL. What is your opinion on that? Like, what do you think about that?
Like all these gateways and stuff like that.
Right, like the FDF, AFL, like all these little semi-pro like organizations and like leagues forming.
So, what I think about it is it's almost like the transfer portal except for older guys, because we didn't have the transfer portal when we was in college. So now our transfer portal is to play at another school, play at another pro league and potentially get a chance to make it to the top. So I think it's a really, really good idea. I don't think it's so much talent in the world. It really is. It's so much talent out here that it needed to be more pro leagues. It needed
a lot of the talent gets looked over. I mean,
it needs to be it needed to be more pro leagues. Like I know the IFA is coming out. They're gonna be competing with the UFL for the only outdoor leagues in the United States. AFL came back, the Arena Football League. FCF is around. The IFL is still, the Indoor Football League is around. And those are the premier, like the indoor as premier indoors, FCF first, AFL, then IFL. Then the top 3 for you to be able to go to the NFL. And then IFA and UFL, they're gonna be the gateway to go to the NFL for sure though, because they're outdoors. So I think it was a no-brainer. It needed to happen. It's so much talent and so much untapped talent that it lets players and kids and grow up and be like, yo, I don't have to go to the NFL to make I don't have to go just to the NFL to make a living. I don't have to just go straight to the NFL to live out my dream. I'm out here playing with people like Josh Gordon and stuff in the LCF. Yep. Granted, I'm getting paid pretty well, but I'm playing with Josh Gordon, Cavante Turpin, like Johnny Manziel. Like these some of the guys I grew up on yo, this is crazy. Like being around this is wild to me. So
Didn't Johnny Manziel play on your team?
yeah,
He did.
he threw the first touchdown to me.
Money Manziel, baby.
Yeah,
Money
Buddy
Manziel.
Manziel. And
But
so
yeah,
and also being around that type of environment lets you know that you are better than what you actually think you are.
Sure.
right.
It validates you more because you already feel like you are, but it really validates you as a player because you're around them and you run routes and stuff like that. Then you see certain stuff that they do, and you like, oh, how did they get to the league? Hold up. I ran that route better than him, but his hands are stronger. So I got to work on grip, like my grip strength. It's so much stuff that you learn.
Right.
But you talk about that, Marcus, all these minor leagues and stuff. If we look at the MLB and the NBA, what do they have different than the NFL? They got a G League, they got minor league teams.
Mhm.
That is built to groom players to eventually make it to there. So I'm just curious, when the heck is the NFL going to finally see that and buy into one of these small things and realize, hey, the guys that do get drafted that probably should not belong on the NFL field just yet, let's send them down here, get them groomed, and then bring them up in 2 to 3 years, because,
Exactly.
man, there's so much talent going every year to these NFL teams that we see don't work out,
It happens. It happens more than what people even think about. They see people go first round and they hype like Kadarius Toney. I met him at the airport in Denver. We was talking. I asked him on first off, he's way bigger than what I thought he is too. He's a pretty stocky guy. So I asked him, I was like, so what you doing in Denver? He was like, I'm just taking a trip. I was like, don't y'all got a game tomorrow? Like, what are you doing here? Because he's with the Chiefs. See, like I think, me personally, think he should have went to a different. Like they should send him somewhere else because at the end of the day, he has the speed, really fast guy, but his hands are not necessarily there all the way right now. And I don't know if it's necessarily his mindset or if his hands is just not there for real. So if you send him to another league, then you can kind of assess him a little bit more and see where his mindset is. And if he balls in that other league, then bring him back up. Yeah, he deserves it. But
Yep.
people like that, I look at them and just be like, why are you? How do y'all still stick around in the league? Like, I know y'all signed him to a nice deal, but like, geez, like it's other dudes that I've been around and played around that deserves that shot. That's why I think, like you said, they need to go to a smaller league then come back up.
Yeah, and I'm just waiting for the NFL to finally see that because it desperately needs that, And if they do open that gateway up, there's no telling how many D3, D2 kids could actually go there and not have to worry about hitting the transfer portal to try to get that recognition and get to the NFL level, And it's an interesting path that I'm surprised the NFL has not taken yet, especially with the NBA and the MLB already doing it for years now. So,
and that's the biggest thing. So yeah.
If you look at it, the NCAA is kind of doing the same thing. I mean, they're saying like these kids are going to these smaller schools, getting groomed, getting their grades right, getting better on the field, and they're going to these bigger schools and they're showing out. And Trey Harris, where did he go to college before Ole Miss? Trey Harris, right, Marcus?
Yeah, he's running back number 4.
No, that's Quinshawn. He transferred to Ohio State, but Trey Harris is number 9. He's a receiver. I want to say it was Louisiana Tech, and then he transferred to Ole Miss, had a great season last year, coming in being one of the best receivers in SEC this year. He went to a smaller school, got groomed there, coming to Ole Miss, playing SEC ball, showing out, doing like his best game of the year was against LSU. That dude showed out. He won the game for us for sure.
It definitely needs to be the NFL definitely needs to start paying more attention to that. So yeah, y'all definitely are hitting the nail on the head.
And maybe that's why the NCAA finally said, "Hey, we're going to make the transfer portal with no things because now we're going to try to form the farm league for the NFL." Mm-hmm. Maybe that's why they intended to do it. We just don't know what actually was the purpose of behind it. I mean, if that's the thing behind it, that is a logic point, because there's a lot of kids that need to be developed before they get in the NFL that choose to go to the draft and that they don't make it. I know a lot of people got a lot of high hopes for Bryce Young, but I just think that man needs some time growing a little bit more because I don't think he's ready for what throwing at him.
Bryce Young's going to be fine. I watched some of his highlights. He needs an O-line. No, he's going to be just fine. Trust me. Bryce Young.
I don't know about that, bud.
I thought the same thing that you're thinking right now, but then I went back and watched some of his highlights he was doing with that team he had last year. That dude was making plays with running around the whole time.
I'm gonna be honest. I gotta agree with Will. The
Yeah.
reason why is because I was watching like 2 games of him playing, and I was sitting down looking. Bro, this man had like 1.5 seconds in the pocket. That it was so crazy. He would drop back the pass, and it was already somebody in his face.
Someone in his face.
It was crazy to watch. I was like, "Yo,
Which y'all talk about that. Look at Justin Fields. I'm sorry, but that man should never be traded because Caleb Williams ain't no better than Justin Fields.
I'm gonna be real. Justin
I
Fields.
agree with you there.
Yeah, I will be honest. Justin Fields is I feel like Justin Fields was way, way better than what some people even said he was.
He had no talent. He had no talent.
And Caleb Williams, I am very anxious to see what this is gonna look like. I really am. Because he seems the part. But a lot of guys in college, they seem the part, then they get to the NFL and look completely opposite. So like I'm very
his mindset right now, the way he's thinking, I don't think it's gonna chime well with a lot of locker rooms.
Oh no, definitely not.
And I mean, there's no excuses for him. There's no excuses for him.
He got so many weapons. They went and got 3 straight receivers. Didn't they get Allen?
DeAndre Swift in the backfield, and then
bro, they got Keenan Allen at receiver.
Yeah,
He's gonna be open the whole game. If you don't
anymore.
Yeah, bro. If you don't, if he mess up, that's on him. That is completely on him.
And so he's got a lot of pressure on his shoulders, and we'll see how he performs. But I mean, I think it was very overrated coming out of college. I mean, yeah, he won the Heisman, had great seasons at USC, but I mean, Pac-12 ball, there's no defense over there really, and
I think he was overrated in general though, because the games I watched, I wasn't crazy impressed. As weird as it sounds, I wasn't crazy impressed. The first half of the season, I was like, "Oh, this dude's different." Then he started getting to the end, and he started looking regular, regular.
I was more impressed with Deion's son at Colorado than him.
Yeah,
Shador's going to do good next year. I think. Well, he's got primetime Neon Dion. He's got the guy, one of the best football players of all time. His coach, his dad, Deion's groomed him, obviously. And so I think he's gonna do pretty well, and we'll see what happens. Anything. It's football. Anything can happen. You never know what can happen, but
exactly.
I mean,
I think my phone about to die. Hold up. I thought I had my charger on me.
well, thank you, Marcus, for coming on, and we look forward to continuing to expand athletes' awareness of our platform, and we look forward to partnering with those who are serious about playing a sport to the next level. And our weekly quote is "Never say never, because limits, like fears, are often illusions." Michael Jordan. And next week we'll have Tate Gentleman on. He's a current college baseball player at Christian Brothers University in Memphis, Tennessee, and the conversation will focus on his personal experiences and how he has been able to get to the level he is at now. And so, as always, Prowler up. And Marcus, thank you for coming on and sharing your experience and everything. And Preston, you got anything you want to touch on?
No, man. Thank you, Marcus, for coming on, man.
I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all for having me. This was a great talk. It
was a great talk. I think it's our longest one here.
For sure.
Nice.
We'll see y'all next week.
See y'all. Thank you.